heard the stories, and now you can see the great man himself, Tony Brooks, CAS Brooks, in the Vanwall. It really is an extraordinary moment within this great celebration of motorsport, aviation, fashion, lifestyle, everything that builds into the Goodwood Revival, has done now for 20 years. It's the 20th edition.
And you've got there at the front there with the Vanwall and the E250, the two cars that between them dominated the 957,
The prettiest, it's glorious.
and the Tech Mech that we saw earlier, probably the least pretty.
Yeah, but the most shrink wrapped. There's Tony Brooks then, making his way down the 11th straight. Unfortunately, the worst of the weather has abated for the time being.
Between the Alfa Romeo of Nick Furiani and Nick Swift's Mini is now on what is probably, is this the final lap? No, it's the penultimate lap, and he takes the move into St Mary's. Well, that was did I just say that's the biggest gap we've seen? I think I did. And then immediately he sweeped past. So you said he was saving the moves and pulled it off beautifully. Now, what can Furiani do in the Alfa Romeo as he attacks back in the first part of Lavant? But don't forget, he has to dab the brakes slightly here. Nick Swift just plants the throttle, but then planting the throttle on the Alfa Romeo is more effective. You can see it closing. They're coming up to the kink. Will he be able to sweep past and take the lead before they get... Yes, he does, by the kink. He does it by the kink. Now, what's going to happen down at Woodcote? 8 seconds until the checkered flag comes out.
Yep, man's already on his final lap. 0.5 between his pursuers.
So now there's the official sign. On to the last lap we go.
Surely they're touching up there.
I think he was inspired by the push cars in the Gasser display.
Yeah. Don't break, Alex. Mind you, the movement's damaged already. We've got pairs of cars disputing first and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth, and seventh and eighth places. So awesome stuff. Last guy's just gone through. I think that's Eric Stas, the Belgian.
Now Middlehurst has got an advantage in sheer top speed down the two big drags here at Goodwood. 138 mile an hour as opposed to the mere 132 of the Ferrari. But now it's the chance for Cole Sacco to duck and dive and dodge and weave and see where Middlehurst is quicker, see where maybe there's a hole in the armour. Yes, it's 0.36 on the screen. It's just 2 car lengths.
Well, look at these speeds. You're going to be slipstreaming beautifully behind the Lotus. Colasacco again looking on the outside. This is where he's got the advantage, but he's got to get underneath Middlehurst, or does he? He's going the long way round the outside into the long double right-hander at Woodcote. Can he hang on? Has he just got enough? Middlehurst got half an undercut, and he's back in front of the chicane. Joe Colasacco will have to try that again, but he just needs to start it a yard or two sooner.
Now the driver's briefing, everything to do with the clean racing that we've just had there.
We have had so much fantastically clean wheel-to-wheel racing all weekend. Now, though, there is traffic in front of them. And you're right, Marcus, it's the 36 car of Eric Stays. In fact, that's not. They've gone by somebody else, so they're past the leader and Milicevic, beg your pardon, and Colasacco having another little look there at Andy Middlehurst as they come towards you.
Yeah, he's got more grunt by the looks of things, and he's very, very close as they scream back down towards me. One more car ahead of them. That'll be the 27 car. And that is Jean. Oh, and a misgear, I think. A misgear for Colasacco. You heard that scream. He got another cog, though.
6 seconds behind the leading Ferrari bred van of Nicholas Halusa and Emanuele Pirro. Is he going to settle? Is he going to fight? Is he going to battle? Never give up.
Model of courtesy by the red 250 GT, keeping out of Phil Keen's way.
Yeah, it's down to 1.5 again. A quicker lap that time by Phil Keen, the chaser, in the 33. And there's another car. Very close between the Ferraris there. The 7 Ferrari going for a squeeze on. That's the Werners on the race leader.
I think
even-handed with the Jag.
I think Emanuele Marcus had to brake hard behind Marcus Werner.
Well, the two brothers in that short wheelbase, a variety of cars that they're driving here this week.
Won the Argentinian Grand Prix in the hands of Frolian Gonzalez. and that has broken up briefly this leading trio, but at once it closes up again. 13 laps completed, 2 laps to go. Ludovic Lindsay leads by half a second from Ronnie McPherson, a further 1 second behind, and catching once more after being delayed by the back markers so sideways. Gregor Fiskin, I don't know how he can get that car quite so sideways at Madgewick and get it back, but he does so. And now it is that he's coming in to attack Ludovic Lindsay. There's Lindsay in the lead, close to the wheel, puts on the opposite lock as he goes through Lavant. And you can see the rubber smoke coming off the inside rear wheel of that ERA as he feeds on the power. And they're absolutely covered by a handkerchief now. These are the 3 leaders, a magnificent first race at Goodwood for 32 years. And Ludovic Lindsay has another back marker to lap, does so.
And he's got the advantage here because he's going through past the tail ender, but McPherson and Fiskin do exactly the same thing. The pressure in this last lap coming up soon as they go through the chicane to start lap 15. Their last lap is very much on Ludovic Lindsay.
On the move, and again this battle between number 12 AC Cobra and Ludovic Carroll, chewing the bluff tail of that 8 Sunbeam Tiger, with Matt Neal no less on board.
And number 12 car, another one which sustained some nose damage in qualifying, but it's all been taped up. It almost looks Cobra shape. But that Tiger is quick in a straight line. 4.7 litre engine in it these days, had a 4.2 in it in its day.
Can't always orchestrate that, so this is a chance for Chris Baton to see if Anthony Reid can be delayed.
I'm impressed by Chris Baton. He's been racing Tigers for years, including this car, also races a Lola T70 and a Ford Mustang. But he's driving superbly in great company here at Anthony Reid. And James Cottingham's certainly quick in that green Cobra too. Yeah,
well, I'm afraid the Aston Martin DB4 GT did no favours at all for Baton, and trying to go up the inside is James Cottingham in the bright green Cobra, but behind, but very sideways from Baton. Now, can he get the braking done? Yes, he's better under the brakes than the 23.
The smoke ahead of him. What was that? Was that Baton out-braked himself? I think it was.
I'd go for that because certainly he's now got
down the inside again. Goes Cottingham.
Richard Wilson in the Maserati trying to find a way of splitting the Jaguar D-types for second place. There's the leader. Still easily catchable. If there's one problem in traffic, they'll be all over him.
Now you'll notice the height of the windscreen on Gary Pearson's car is a little taller than on some of the others. Gary sits very low. He'll be looking right through that, having to deal with any detritus that's covering it right now, whereas some of the others will have the luxury of lifting a visor if they need to, just to aid their vision.
And of course that plexiglass never gives you a clean view either because it's curved. The D-Type is in traffic, so too is number 16, the D-Type. This will be their penultimate lap. By the time we get to the line, they will have 1 to go.
Yeah, and you sense that Gary Pearson, the race leader, has throttled back. And good driving from number 20 there. Just that was Steve Glenn who let the quicker guys through on the inside.
Yeah. Great for us, he didn't really interrupt the battle. What's the Maserati got left? And that's it, it's all done. Red flags are out, the race will not restart. Gary Pearson will end up with victory.
Number 14 at the Revival.
And I think it is the car that was in 8th place, which is Stefan Ziegler's Kyriakos long nose Jag that started in 28th. He suddenly dropped down the order.
Back ahead of Laurie Bennett coming to show in the 65 McLaren. He's in 7th place ahead of Jolly in the Cooper. Behind Jolly it's Beaumont and Smith. The first of the GT40s. Well, there's one past Mercedes Silva. Mercedes Silva very sideways, but Ollie Bryant has managed to get away past him, and once Ollie's away, he should be able to run through.
But there just wasn't room to do it before. Martin Stretton in E2A is in front, but there's not 3 seconds, that's not 2 seconds, that's barely 1 second to lead with 1 minute and 55 seconds to go.
Roger Wills got that traffic at exactly the wrong time for him. There you have it. We've got 1 minute and 3/4 to go in this 20-minute race, and there you have the little white Lotus and the Lister Nobly passing Stretton. That's the back marker, and look at this. Can can we see pit lane to victory in the last race of 2018 for the Revival. Wow.
Penultimate lap of the race, penultimate lap of the weekend. Phil Keane in hunter killer mode. Roger Wills not long for the lead of this race in the Lotus 15. Surely started on the outside the front row.
Wills understeered at St Mary's. That's going to cost him a bit of time. They're together at Lavant. There are now 1 minute and 876. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last minute.
Yeah, he's through. He's
he's
through.
off,
And
yeah.
he leads from pit lane to leading the race. Unbelievable. The best race has been saved to the last one in 2018. And Phil Keane, what a drive. This is motor racing.
There was exactly 1 minute on the clock as Will slid off over the curb on the exit of Lavant and was pounced upon by Keane.
1 minute of the 20th anniversary Goodwood Revival remaining, and a pass for the lead in huge dramatic fashion. Phil Keane, 1 to go. He gets to the line. It will be the last lap of the meeting.
The crowd applaud him, and quite right too, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the smile on these guys' faces. I'm sure he's smiling underneath that crash helmet. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. What a drive.
Well, he's not home yet, but he has tried so hard throughout this Revival meeting with John Minshaw in their cars, and again another 33 number car. This time, finally, it looks as though Phil Keane, despite what looked like disaster before the start, is going to end up with the reward for all the input.
He did win it in 2014 in the Enduro race with John Minshaw, but this is the solo one.
And what a drive it has been. I mean, he has been nothing other than utterly spectacular in this listed gobbly. Toby a couple of laps ago in the commentary box just physically actually threw in a metaphorical towel. It was all over for Roger Wills. It was. Phil Keane was not going to be denied. And on the final lap of the Sussex Trophy, he leads towards the last corners.
Marcus, we've seen some motorsport in our time. Thousands of races. This has been quite breathtaking. Unbelievable.
We've had fantastic races from beginning to end.
And it is going to be the checkered flag and victory in the Sussex Trophy for Phil Keane in the Lister Nobly. What a drive from pole to the pit lane, from the pit lane to victory. Pole, victory, straightforward.